So whatever time is left in your December attempt, in your upcoming attempt, how to plan your time, how to plan your studies, how can we help you out in achieving your goal? Is it achievable or not? How much you have to study? What should be the approach? We'll primarily be talking about that. Okay. So let's start the session. Let's just start the proceedings of the session. Bit of introduction about myself. If you already know me, if you've already attended my sessions, uh, I'm a tutor for AAA and SBR. Uh, I teach ACCA subjects, and I've been teaching these subjects since last many years. I myself am a practicing chartered accountant, fellow member of ACCA, fellow member of ICAP as well. And if you need my contact information, it's on your screens as well. Okay. I think this is enough about me. Session agenda. Session agenda. What's the session agenda? We know about AAA. I'll not be talking much about AAA because you already know about AAA. Okay. You already know much about AAA. So I'll not be talking about what is AAA, but yes, I'll be talking about what are the problems in AAA and how can we overcome those problems. Okay. So it's one of the most important paper in the professional skills because if we are aiming for AAA certification, AAA qualification, that means we are aiming primarily to be auditors. So we should have a strong grip on this. We'll talk about the syllabus as well, paper patterns as well, passing ratio. It's worst amongst all subjects usually. It ranges from 30 to 34%. In the last attempt, September attempt, it has been 34%. Again, not very encouraging and comparatively worst among all. Okay. Reasons of failure. We'll talk about the reasons of failure, but this is very important. Professional skill marks, 20 professional skills marks. Okay. And these are such marks that you don't have to prepare separately for those marks. These are not content based marks. These marks only depend upon the approach of your answer. If the approach of your answer is professional, if the approach of your answer is as the desired characteristics and traits given to you by the examining team, professional skills, audit mindset, and we'll discuss about it, then your 20% marks are in your kitty. Are you getting this? You do not have to do any extra effort for these 20 marks. These 20 marks will automatically be flowing with your technical marks. Okay. Reasons of failure. We'll talk about the exam techniques, how important they are, what is our teaching methodology, and how can we help you out. Syllabus overview is a big syllabus. And if you are reattempting this paper, I shouldn't be delving much into the details, but I'll pick some important key areas which the students lack usually in their exam techniques. Ethical considerations is a very important area, but I have seen that students are unable to explain it properly. The easiest area, and students think that they can do well in this area, but unfortunately, they end up losing easy marks, even in the area of ethical considerations. Okay. Quality practice management, another important area which the examiner is focusing since last many attempts. Acceptance considerations, quality management considerations, important area. Planning and conduct of the audit. This is, this is the major chunk of your exam paper. Question number one primarily revolves around this planning and conduct of the audit. Materiality, risk assessment, audit risk, business risk, audit testing, whatnot. It's examined. And question one, 15-mark question, primarily revolves around this learning objective. Completion review and reporting, again, the reporting implications. When to modify, when to give which modification, when to give disclaimer, when to give when to qualify your opinion on the basis of material misstatement, on the basis of lack of evidence. What are the additional paras? What is other info? What is other matter? What is CAM? So this area guides you. Reports to those charged with governance as well. Okay. Other assignments, very important area, and is obviously is a regular feature. Prospective financial information, due diligence assignments, forensics investigation come up frequently, on and off, on and off, on and off. So obviously, we cannot risk leaving any area. We should know the strategy and we should have practiced it. If you have practiced it, whatever comes up, you know the approach, you know the plan, how to attack, you can do it. Current issues and professional developments, not regularly tested, just when examiner has especially said an article or any such thing, it can be tested. It is tested, in fact. Professional skills, as I already told you. Now, see, have a look at what are the professional skills. Communication, the format of your answer. Question number one has the 4 marks for communication, drafting briefing notes, format of the briefing notes, the structure of the briefing notes, prioritization of the risk communication. 4 marks in your kitty. Analysis and evaluation, your analytical skills, your linking skills with the content of the question, whatever the situational circumstances given to you, how can you link the numbers with those? Analysis and evaluation. Plus, not only linking the numbers with that situation, explaining it, evaluating it, what's right and what's wrong. Okay, that's analysis and evaluation. Then what's professional skepticism and judgment? Don't accept everything which the client tells you. There may be some fishy statements, some doubtful statements, some problematic statements. Always keep your minds open. All these contradictory statements. If the client is saying something, but the numbers are telling you a different story, that's a contradiction. Professional skepticism. Client is going for the listing and they're intentionally doing such errors which are increasing the profits. This might be an intentional act. Okay, so you should keep your eyes open, you should keep your minds open. Professional skepticism and judgment. Okay, very important skill. And as we practice the questions, you'll see how much importance this skill is given specifically for the auditors. Because if you are the auditor and you are auditing any financial statements of a company, obviously, first and foremost thing is your judgment, your professional skepticism, your analysis, your critical thinking, your critical assessment, your questioning attitude. Okay? Then commercial acumen, the business understanding. Business understanding also plays a very vital role. Be it business risk questions, be it any control related question. You need to have a proper understanding of the business processes, business acumen, commercial acumen. You can recommend strategies, business risk, business problems. You can identify business problems. You can recommend controls, relevant controls. Are you getting this? Very important. And employability and technology skills. So this is not specifically a learning objective. This is basically telling you that since you are a professional skills students and you have to appear this in paper in a CBE environment. So you should be very much well versed with those technical tools which are utilized for the CBE environment. This is the paper pattern. We know this paper pattern. But one thing which I want you to specifically, which I want to emphasize here specifically is that be it question one, 50-mark question, which is usually set on the planning stage, be it question two, which is usually set around review reporting, or question three, which usually set around other assignments. There are a few technique-based areas which are always tested. And if you master these technique based areas, you can ace the paper with ease. But what is lacking? Where do students struggle? Students struggle in this area. They fail to master the techniques and they fail to practice those techniques. If you can master these techniques for every part of this question, for each of these questions, there are high chances for you to pass this paper. For example, question one will always feature risk assessment. So why not to grip it like anything? Business risk, risk of material misstatement, regular feature, testing, being tested in every attempt. We know it'll be there in our attempt as well. Then why to leave this area weakened? Why? Let's make it a strong area. We know this will always be a feature. Ethical, professional, and quality matters. Regular feature, almost tested in every attempt. We know what is the technique. This area has a specific technique. Master that technique. That's it. Procedures and evidence will be a key feature in every paper. 8 marks, 10 marks, every exam, every attempt. You will be asked about the procedures. Why not to practice it and master it? Reporting issues, regular feature. Either you might be given an extract to appraise it, or you might be given any situation in which you might be asked about the reporting implications. Be it any sort of question, it's a regular feature. So why not to master it? Why not to master its technique? How to attempt it, how to approach it, how to write it. That's it. Other assignments. We know prospective financial information, due diligence assignments, forensics investigation, social and environmental elements. Regular feature has been examined multiple times in past. Why not to practice it? And why not to have a grip on it? Okay. But remember this thing, technique matters a lot. Technique. If you draft with the technique, it'll fetch you maximum marks. Past exam trends and analysis. Okay. 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 Unfortunately, I couldn't find a file having June 23 attempt as well. But I'll surely share it with you. The point of showing this analysis is just to show you that, see, business risk, audit risk, business risk, audit risk, audit risk, audit risk, audit risk, audit risk, feature of every attempt. Audit procedures, audit procedures, audit procedures, audit procedures, every attempt. Ethical consideration, quality management matters to be considered in acceptance. Again, quality management matters to be accepted. I hope you remember the lectures. Matters to be considered in audit. Regular feature matters to be considered in audit and audit evidence and procedures. So why not to master these techniques? These are regular features. Okay. So if everything is a regular feature, what's lacking? And how can we overcome it? Please do not do selective studies. It's a wholesome paper. Focus on paper practice. Take the past exam papers. They're available on CB platform. Do actually attempt in a CB based environment. And don't do selective study. Examiner can ask anything from anywhere. At least have proper reading. We'll be discussing the most key areas, but there are a few very easy areas. You might just be required to read those areas. There could be something appearing in the examination from those areas. You should be ready. Poor memory from accounting standards. Students usually tend to struggle in this area. Their accounting knowledge is weak. The, every explanation will require, most of the time, auditing issues. The explanation of auditing issues will most of the time requires your accounting skills. Have a strong grip on your accounting knowledge. At least the basic concepts, the core concepts. You will not be asked about the nitty-gritties of the calculations and accounting standards, but you will at least be expected to apply your core accounting principles or knowledge to the given scenario. Getting this? So, lack of paper technique, as I told you, there is a technique for every paper, for every uh, type of question. I'll show you what's the paper technique. Let's show you. Let me show you. For example, for example, if you talk about the business risk, okay, for a business risk, this is the technique. And you have to work on the technique. If you work on this technique, you can score maximum marks. Identify the information from the scenario creating the risk. When we practice, I show you that this is the information which is giving you the hint, which is spoon feeding you the problem with the business. So this is the information creating business risk. Pick that up. Explain why this situation is problematic to the business operations. Explain. Link it with the trends or numbers if given. An explanation should be a thorough explanation. For example, see, if there are 2 marks available for a risk, then you might be required to explain a business risk in this format. For example, if the question has given you the information that the entity operates in a highly regulated industry, in a highly regulated industry, this is the information which is leading you towards the business risk. Then this simply means that there might be lots of health and safety regulations to comply. There will be the risk of non-compliance to the laws and regulations. Okay. And what could be the implication? This is a problem. But what will be the consequence? And how will it affect my profitability, my business operations, or revenues, or cash flows? So failure to comply could result in fines and penalties, which could result in drain on companies' resources. This is the business problem, leading to cash flows problems. And worse publicity will result in loss of customers, loss of my revenue. I'm not talking about the financial statements problem. I'm not talking about the disclosure related issue. I'm not talking about the misstatements. I'm simply talking about the business problems which are being caused by this piece of information given to me in the question. That's it. Revocation of license. The license may be revoked. There could be going concern issues. Students many a time mix up business risk with financial statement risks. Even very good students mix it up sometimes. We should be very particular and clear about the difference between these two. Okay? Exam technique of risk of material misstatement. It's on your screens. 6-step technique. If you follow the 6-step technique, there are hardly any chances of losing marks in audit risk. Hardly. Okay? You should know the marking scheme as well. Okay? Technique, marking scheme, and how to draft. And we'll practice everything. We'll practice how to draft. Okay? Practice is the key. You should practice. If you are studying on self-basis even, practice it. Write it down. Don't read the answer. Don't read the solution. Attempt it first. And then match it with the examiner's answer. Your answer will not match. Your points might not match completely. But even if 50, 60% points match, do match, it means that your answer is good. And I would highly recommend, even if you feel, even if you feel, even if you feel you can do it, yes, you can do it. But do at least attempt the mock exam and try to show your answers to the tutor. Mock exams help a lot. When your mistakes will be identified, you will get to know where you are lacking, where you are losing your marks, and where you can improve. Okay? Similarly, there is a technique for quality management considerations. See, 6-step techniques, 7-step technique. There is an exam technique for acceptance considerations. Look at this acceptance technique. Whenever a question comes up about acceptance considerations, I've just shown you that how many times this question has really been tested by the examiner. So if this type of question is tested, acceptance consideration, you should know the technique. And you should not only know the technique, because this is not a knowledge-based paper, you should know how to apply this technique to your answers. If you can apply this properly to your answers, you can fetch maximum marks. Believe me. So, concepts, technique, practice. AAA is in your hands. Similarly, there is a technique for matters and evidence question. Frequently tested matters and evidence questions. What should be the approach? How you should approach the information? How you should analyze or scan the information, and how you should draft the answer. Audit procedure. What is required? How to draft audit procedures? Very important guidelines and practice. Okay. So these are the simple techniques. Okay. Now, very important thing. Very important thing. The planner. The planner. Okay. For the reset batch, obviously now from now onwards, we will not be having two, but we'll be having one live class per week. Okay. We have WhatsApp support group as well. We'll provide you with the recorded sessions, e-notes as well. But most importantly, have a look at this planner. We're standing today on 20th October. Planners on your screens. Okay, these topics, since you will be those who wish to get themselves enrolled, those who wish to get themselves registered for the recent attempt, they'll be given the access of LMS, where there will be conceptual videos of every area. So go through the conceptual videos and at least you should cover these areas quickly. Okay. They're not too difficult to cover. You can do it. And tomorrow we'll be having a live session in which we will be practicing the exam technique of planning and conduct of the audit of historical financial information. So if you can attend tomorrow's live session, do try to attend. The timings are 7 p.m. Okay, the link will be shared shortly. And if you are not in the group, do text me. I'll share the link. Attend tomorrow's session, complimentary session. Okay. If you are not a registered student, you can attend tomorrow's session, tomorrow's practice session, in which we will be discussing about the one of the past exam question of this learning objective. Okay. Planning and conduct in order of historical financial information. Then in the next week, we'll be practicing completion review and reporting in the live session. Okay. Then with the start of the first week of November, we'll be having our 4 days practice marathon. Okay. In 1st to 10th November, we'll be having practice marathon in which we'll be doing extensive practice. We'll be looking at various questions apart from those already placed on the portal. You can have, you can already always access the questions available at the portal, but we'll be doing some live practices as well. Then in the second week of November, you'll be having your final mock. Okay. So this is the session planner for your guidance. Now, I would appreciate if any one of you wants to ask any question about your preparation, about your strategy, about your direction, way forward, you're most welcome to ask. Anyone. Yes. Yes, I'm going to share the presentation. Don't worry about that. Okay. Any question, any other question? Anything which you wish to ask? As far as my contact information is concerned, if you wish to contact me for any additional guidance, you can always approach me on this number. Okay, Joy, please ask if you have any concern. You've raised your hand. Do you wish me to open the mics? Okay, if you wish to even ask, you can unmute yourself and ask. Or if you wish to type, you can type as well.
Okay, so yes, thank you so much for the presentation. Really appreciate this. Okay, so what I just wanted to understand what you were saying. So you're saying that week by week we're going to have revision classes based on a particular aspect of the syllabus. Just want to get clarification. Just want to know if that's the plan. And I don't know if we have a WhatsApp group or a WhatsApp where I can reach out to
Uh,
you.
can you please repeat your question?
Okay, so I was saying that my question is that are we going to have a revision class every week? Like you mentioned that tomorrow we're going to have one on
Yes, yes,
planning.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
We will
that's
be
fine.
having the revision class every week.
Okay,
Tomorrow is
okay,
one of the revision class tomorrow, so you can join
okay,
that session as well. And
okay,
we'll be having one class every week. But as I told you, then in the first week of November, we'll be having consecutive practice sessions,
okay,
four,
okay,
five
okay.
consecutive practice sessions, and then we will wrap up because
Okay, that's
then
fine.
it will be your time for your practice. Okay.
Practice. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much. Well
Thank
understood.
you.
Thank you.
So, dear students, thank you so very much for attending today's session. Wishing you very best of luck for your preparation for the success in upcoming attempt. Uh, I'm there to help you out. If you need any help, do text me. I'll try my level best to respond to you as soon as possible. See you in tomorrow's session. If you wish to join tomorrow's session, do join tomorrow's session, practice session. That will help you a lot. See you tomorrow. Thank you so very much. You tutor signing off. Bye bye.